Some interesting things have been happening in UFC news, from managers slapping their clients to fighters answering the questions that every fan has. Conor McGregor has also announced who he wants to fight next. Stay tuned for today's video as we have a bunch of hot new UFC news to unpack. First, let's start with Dillon Danis being slapped by his manager. The main thing that everybody has been interested in within the world of UFC is the backstage altercation involving Dillon Danis. UFC pro Dillon Danis was slapped by UFC manager Ali Abdelaziz. This incident occurred after Abdelaziz went to UFC 268 alongside fighters Kamaru Usman, Frankie Edgar, and Justin Gaethje. As of right now, none of them have come forward with an exact confirmation about what it was that led to the altercation between the two. Former UFC fighter Michael Bisping also got in an altercation with Dillon Danis over Twitter after he tweeted out a tweet that has since been deleted. The tweet called Dillon so pathetic and said that the fighter was slapped in the face backstage, and he not only got ejected from that event, but he was banned from all future UFC events. Danis clapped back on Twitter defending himself, calling out Bisping and saying that during the incident there were eyewitnesses present that can confirm Bisping running away. Danis then went even further, doubling down and proclaiming himself as Michael Bisping's daddy, forbidding him from talking anymore. Since the incident broke out, there has not been any comments made by Danis' team or by the officials at UFC, but there was an announcement made in UFC. Next, we'll check out who Conor McGregor has revealed he wants to fight. In the last few years, Conor McGregor has made a big name for himself in the world of UFC. Frequently in the news, a while back McGregor was in the spotlight due to an injury he sustained that instantly ended the fight and required the Irish fighter to go into surgery for some time after. While the injury definitely did some damage to McGregor, it could not stop him from entering the ring once again. McGregor, while out for his injuries, has made sure that people know he'll be returning. A tweet was tweeted out asking which fighter McGregor should face next year once he makes his way back into the ring next year. McGregor responded to the tweet saying that his next fight will be whoever has the lightweight belt when he re-enters the ring. McGregor has also made it clear he wants to see Max Holloway back in the ring as well. Holloway has responded to McGregor wanting to fight him by saying, in regards to his injury, that he doesn't want to kick a dog when it's down, saying that it's a sport all about timing, so they'll just have to see how things go. But who wants to fight McGregor? There's no saying when McGregor will enter the ring again, but when he eventually does, he will no doubt be very busy, as various fighters have been calling him out left and right. Most notably, many have speculated that McGregor will face off with Max Holloway once again. Michael Chandler has made it clear that he wants to take on the fighter as well, posting a picture of him and the Irish fighter face-to-face with a caption that read 2022. McGregor responded saying that he was down at some stage for sure, also congratulating him on the fight he had before requesting the match between them. There is seemingly no bad blood between the two, and it looks like when McGregor re-enters the ring, they may be facing off. There were also tweets from Rafael Dos Anjos, Jake Paul, Tony Ferguson, Khamzat Chimaev, and many other fighters welcoming the legend back and challenging him upon his official return. There was also a dispute between McGregor and bantamweight champion Peter Yan, in which McGregor said he would set up a sparring match between the two for one of the shows at the Crumlin Boxing Club in Ireland. Let's look at why Cody Durden's in trouble. Cody Durden recently came into some trouble over the controversial comments he made during his post-fight interview following the finished fight with Aori Qiling when asked about the Mongolian murderer. Durden said, "I knew he was going to be tough, but I had to send him back to China where he came from." This caused many UFC fighters and fans to be reasonably upset with his xenophobic comments. Aori Qiling himself called out Durden for his comment. Calling him a coward, Qiling said that he defeated the coward in the cage, but the judges gave him a chance to say something disgusting with his disgusting mouth. Many also came to Keeling's defense, both fans and fellow fighters. Female flyweight fighter Casey O'Neill tweeted out, "Racism is never cool" in regards to the ordeal. Jared Gordon said that Durden's comments made white people look dumb again, and many other fighters took to social media to call out Durden. Fighters including Jamal Hill, Belal Muhammad, and Mohamed Makhachev, a new fighter to UFC, who even challenged Durden to a fight over the comments. Many fans were proud of their favorite sportsman who came together as a community to fight against prejudice. Cody Durden later issued a statement apologizing for what he said. Next up is Colby Covington speaking on his feud with Jorge Masvidal. The ever-growing feud between Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal has been one that's been heavily viewed by fans of the sport. Covington recently spoke on the feud, discussing the beginning before the two were rivals. Covington announced that the two used to be so close that they at one point in time lived with each other. He waved away any suspicions that the two were just creating a pseudo falling out to better sell the fight, saying that their feud was a personal one that is more real than it gets. Covington said that the two began to be as close as they were after Covington went on a bit of a winning spree while Masvidal didn't have such luck. Covington said that Masvidal began getting jealous and started behaving in a very petty way, growing a very big ego. It wasn't long before Masvidal began publicly throwing out frivolous insults at Covington, calling him things like crotch sniffer. Covington said that Masvidal is a criminal, and that's why Covington wants to leave him in a pool of his own blood. He also announced the injury that caused Masvidal to withdraw from UFC 269, stating stating he was told by members of his gym that it was broken ribs. Next is that Aljamain Sterling was injured in training. Conor McGregor and Jorge Masvidal are not the only fighters getting injured. Bantamweight champion Aljamain Sterling posted a picture online showcasing a nasty cut he got on his lip with a caption that read, "Stitches or nah?" It seems like the answer indeed was stitches, since Aljamain followed that up with 3 more pictures of his lips along with an announcement that he did have to get 3 new stitches. In the tweets, he also jokingly said, "See you in 2023. This in regard to the injury he sustained earlier that caused him to push back the fight against Peter Yan until later. He jokingly said he'd be back in 2023 to humor those who think he is avoiding the match altogether. Sterling has made it abundantly clear that even with this injury keeping him out of the ring, he'll still be taking on Peter Yan. Sterling said the fight between Yan and Sandhagen gave him all the confidence in the world that he can take him, saying it showed him that he was human and that he knows he can bleed and be choked out, while Peter Yan said that he didn't need the fight. All other UFC news. There have been many things making headlines in the world of UFC, like the arrest of former UFC fighter Anthony Rocco Martin. Martin was arrested after a security guard was punched in the throat in an attempt to escort the former fighter from a Caesars Palace. Fighter Matt Brown will not be fighting Brian Barberina as scheduled due to the welterweight's positive COVID-19 test. UFC President Dana White confirmed that Nate Diaz will not be returning to UFC by announcing that the fighter only has 1 more fight remaining in his current deal. While that fight has not been announced yet, former welterweight Ben Askren has called out Diaz, saying he would be happy to be his last competitor. "Nate is right. I suck at boxing. He sucks at MMA. If he wants me to prove it, I can be in the USADA pool tomorrow," he wrote on Twitter. Nate Diaz responded to Askren saying that Jake Paul is kind of good at boxing, which prompted a reply from Diaz who said, "Coming from a retired wrestler who can't fight or box, the two haven't officially agreed upon any set date or if they'll actually fight, but things are definitely getting heated." Fans of UFC have had much to talk about within the last few days, and when McGregor gets back in the ring and back on his quest for the championship belt, and Aljamain Sterling gets healed and takes on Peter Yan, there will be even more things for fans of the sport to discuss. Who do you think will be back in the ring first? And what do you think it was that caused Danis to receive a slap in the face? Make sure to leave your opinions in the comments below, and leave a like and subscribe to see more of our content. Thanks for watching.